Tell me that I'm proud, that I'm finally true. Silence fades and I feel like craving. Disguise, I hide. Bright lights, decide, divide. Your heart beats fast, despite the truth. That love is blind. I just wanna feel anything.
What's up, guys? Happy Thursday. Hope y'all are feeling good, awake, alive. Let's take a deep breath. Let's tackle these markets on. Congrats to everyone that's on again, just working on the craft, developing yourselves in this game. Quick message before we kick things off today. Just quick reminders. I'm a big fan of just reminding you guys. I'm sure half of what I say you already know. You just got to bring it to the forefront of your mind, just to make sure that we're aligned. So just remember what you need to trade. Don't let the market reel you into any sort of trades you don't really need. Remember that it doesn't have to happen today. So whatever those results that it is that you want, it does not need to be today. Right? Don't let potential opportunity, don't let what looks like an opportunity just incentivize you, reel you in. You are in control of your emotions. So let's operate today out of a place of peace. Let's operate today out of a place of abundance. And let's get it done. Let's get it done. So let's start let's start sharing screen and dive into things, guys. All right. So we got. I had shared this setup with you guys yesterday. I didn't take this last night. It kind of got to my entry zone yesterday. I didn't take this trade during Asian session. One, I wasn't gonna be up for it, but two, Dow was definitely dropping. It was just way more bearish we got to this area from Monday, so like right after Monday's New York Open, we had that big spike down before the push. And so Dow got here, but NASDAQ wasn't quite down here yet. So that move, the same move, happened with NQ, but it wasn't as it just wasn't dropping as bearish. So we did see NASDAQ, take out a little bit of liquidity here. We saw a small dip down. Market rallied one more time, and then here it failed to break the structure. Here's where it just lost the momentum. So here's that last push down before everything rallied. This move right here, right around like 905, 910. If you look at Dow, let me show you guys. So when you go look at Dow, that same move was this big spike down. So this move right here, that 905 move, this actually liquidates, makes the low before it rallies, creates Monday's New York low, whereas NQ, on the other hand, if we go scroll over, that 905 move happens right here, and it makes the higher low. So this is kind of the same thing that we were looking for Dow happens right there. So you actually could be getting reversals from NASDAQ from right around this zone. And so this is what I want to see, right? I want to see kind of where we get to today. Would love to be positioned in sells and just kind of keep taking this lower and lower. Yesterday I was talking about wanting to get into, potential distribution opportunities and go from there. So let's see here. So yeah, I'm gonna walk you guys through some short-term stuff here, see if we can get into any sells or buys might make more sense. But distribution looks very clear here. We started to lose momentum once we were trying to break above 25,150. We kept dropping and dropping, and you got the final mitigation there before things started to tumble here yesterday, and things just started to work their way lower. I know some of you actually took a short here. I could be wrong, but I believe Yoselin, I know, like once we cleared yesterday's Tokyo highs, I think you took a position here. I wanted to sell yesterday, as you guys know, but Dow just didn't want to go high. It didn't want to go that high, so couldn't get the best idea. We had the right idea, but I just couldn't get my price, and which is fine. But we're 5 minutes out from New York Open, so before we go into that, let me talk about you guys. What's up? What's up, Kevin? ¿Cómo estamos, Rodriguez? What's up, Nick, Karen, Noah, Maria Lisa? Good to see you on. Maria Lisa, you've been on super consistently the last month or two. I love to see it. Maybe more, but I just didn't see your name. But what's up, Patrick? Back to the lab. Yes, sir. Gabriel, Harshi, Joe, Luis. What's up, Seth? Yes, guys, so I just dropped a video yesterday about news. This is definitely more for if you're a beginner or if you just never had a clarity with trading news. That's that kind of video to watch, so check it out. Drop a comment there so that you could win a funded account. I'll be giving away that account tomorrow. All right, tomorrow that account is going to be given away. So make sure you have a comment in there. If you want to drop 1 million comments, you can. It's not going to make your odds better, but hey, we appreciate the love. So yeah, it's the newest video about news, and then check that out. But what's up, Edgar, Jose Mejia, Canzada, Edwin, Rafa? Hey, enjoy Puerto Rico. Jay, it's always a vibe. Luis says, bro, I need that shirt drop. Jersey goes hard, says Lil Janko. All right, I guess this is what they want. Nance designed this one. You designed this one, right? Like, what, 6 months ago, maybe? A while back. I think we just never got to it. But baseball season is starting, in a couple weeks, so I guess it makes sense. Grateful for y'all, too. Yes. All right, cool. So let's dive into it, and we'll make it happen. So, okay. All right, and guys, I'm seeing a lot of growth in the community, a lot more. Like, you guys are just sharing so much more. It looks like you're getting more comfortable with your ideas and just getting feedback, and that's just the best way you're gonna learn. So I love to see it. What's up, Hector? ¿Cómo estás, bro? Okay, so let's go into small time frames real quick. We have New York open here in just a few minutes. Now, I am noticing that we got a nice little swing up here. Didn't take out London highs, and we definitely have these Tokyo highs over here. It's actually more of an imbalance. So honestly, I feel like we can get shorts again here with Dow. Dow just doesn't seem like it's going to too much of an extreme. So here we see it take out end of day, some liquidity, and then drop once again. So I'm looking at Dow here for possible shorts. And then if we look at S&P, well, let me look at the minis real quick just to make sure like this is more precise. Okay, perfect. So S&P, MES here, we basically have equal highs over here. This is liquidity. Same imbalance over here, that same push up. So very, very similar to Dow. And then you have NASDAQ that definitely is just leaving equal highs. We have liquidity over here. That was weird. So we have liquidity right here. I think liquidity should be, liquidity, I always feel like it should be blue, but I feel like the red line makes it a bit more legit. Black line's very visible. I guess I can go back to the good old days where I put the little dollar sign above it. I don't know if that's useful to anybody, or just label it in itself. I'll just put that right there. But liquidity right there. So yeah, I think we can take this out, especially if we start seeing NQ run the highs first or S&P run the highs first. Then I do like sells over here. So I'm liking the idea for shorts around this price point, and then really anywhere around here. So right above these Tokyo highs. I wouldn't set my stop too high either. And then I think we can get a pretty decent trade right around here. From here, I would just continue the price action to go even lower. So we'll see. Things are kicking off pretty bearish already with Dow. So New York open hits. We're starting to see the swing in volatility. The volume changes. Obviously, you guys are going to see like right now how much more volume comes into the market relative to what has been happening. So you'll see this right here, right? Volume, the orders start to just go higher and higher and higher in comparison to what has been happening. Typically, you see this happen significantly bigger than everything else. So expect quite this upswing in volatility. So Dow here taking out or going for Tokyo lows right there. So it's pushing towards that. We have S&P right here and then NQ. So Dow kicking things off, definitely more bearish than the rest. But that doesn't really give me entries or anything like that. Like, that's not really the point. At the moment, we're seeing NQ slower to drop. So, I had the thought that we could get a rejection either out of this order block or out of this big sell. Like here, for example, with NQ, we had a push down. I know Vaughn, I believe you marked this up, where you're like, well, here was a pretty good move. Now this is during New York session, but we saw a pretty good push down here, which takes a bit of liquidity out, a couple hours worth of buyers, a couple hours worth of them, takes them out, and then the market just rips. So could we get a reversal out of here? Maybe. I don't think it's a terrible idea. I do prefer this last push down, this higher low over here, that to get a reversal as well. Neither of these are like my favorite. I really prefer bigger liquidity sweeps, but like what I'm noticing right now, for example, Dow hasn't swept these Tokyo lows quite yet, so we're getting close, while S&P and NQ are also still struggling a little bit. So you're in an S&P buy. Okay, cool. Cool S&P buys. That's nice. I don't... okay, I kind of get it. You see a pretty big push down here. It does chop up on its way out of this low. So then you get a break above the high. I kind of see it. Yeah, sure. I can understand that idea. Same thing looking at NASDAQ over here, apparently. Like you have during Asian session, you know, we kind of see price clear these lows. The market gets pretty choppy over here. You see another spike down during Asian session. So another push to the downside here, rebalances. And the market is starting to get a decent bounce. Not really anything that stands out to me really. Yes, the 5-minute time frame goes from lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, to then higher highs. So structure on the smaller time frame, the 5-minute, goes bullish. But remember, we're currently in a retracement right now, right? We're seeing the market, in my opinion, want to work its way back to, you know, some of these key levels down over here. So I'm more inclined to seeing the market go lower, and this just doesn't show me a whole bunch of smart money like reversals quite yet. So I'm just like not really looking to be in the market here yet. But let's see. S&P starting to bounce out of there. Nice. So your S&P buys look great. You said you posted an NQ short. Okay. Yeah, let's check it out. NQ shorts. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, I do see the push to the upside. So this clears liquidity, possible mitigation right there. The only thing to keep in mind would be the difference between NQ and Dow. Dow is definitely like not like if the markets are gonna get to these zones. What happened to my mouse? Dude, did my mouse just die? I should have a backup now. Shit, I think I might. Where was this cable? Thought I left this bad boy charging. Okay. Can't wait for time zones to be aligned again. Grateful to be on. So right now, we have this Tokyo low about to get swept, and then I'm assuming we're going to see everything maybe pushed back down. So we'll see something like that. In the meantime, though, so cool. Dow's clearing the lows. Fantastic. Any additional ideas that we are seeing? Didn't have anything yet with majors. We were just waiting, right? Now, yesterday I had some gold buys that ended up going about a 2R. So did you guys catch the gold buys yesterday? I know it was gold or silver. Market traded super well during New York session. We had that mitigation. Who took that yesterday? I know it was dropped on the session. We had it on as one of the trades that had potential in the post. So let me know if you bought gold yesterday and you were able to take some money home. Yep, got out of 2R, 1.5. Nice. Yes. Awesome, guys. Let's go. Okay, that's great. So right now we're starting to see the market pull back a bit more, starting to work its way a little bit lower. Same thing with silver. So we're starting to see everything kind of work its way back. Now the silver looks really interesting because the 15-minute looks like it just shifted structure really well. All right, we see silver started to make higher highs and then traded above all of London session. So I think we might be. This thing's good to go. All right, cool. I think we might be in a pretty good position here. Let me see. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second over here. I gotta find my chart. I can plug this in. What is this cable? Gotta get the backup mouse going here. Huh? Well, I don't know what that means. Let's see. Let's see if this guy works. Yes, we're in business. Oh, this is nice. This is smooth. Okay. All right, we're just gonna close that. All right. We're back. All right, so yeah, I mean, look at how. Whoa, this is. All right, getting used to it. It takes time. I don't know about you guys, but like if you ever go from what are they called? Like the Apple's has its own mouse, and then like anything else. I remember switching and starting to use that one was kind of annoying, but now using a non-Apple mouse, well, I feel like these are speedy, man. All right, so anyways, yeah, so look at silver switching over and going from lower lows, lower highs to higher highs over here. And I do think we're going to start to see a shift, like a big shift in silver. Look at the higher time frame as well, right? We had silver here. What happened over here? Whatever. Silver here has made a pretty healthy pullback, traded into the imbalance over here, and yeah, I mean, it just looks good. I mean, okay, here's where we had a chart. The only other difference is with silver, and this does look very different, is the difference between like silver with smaller contracts and just silver. The only difference right here that I'm noticing is like there is a massive imbalance over here on silver. So do we end up working our way back to this over here? So do we end up coming back to this, which I think is very much possible over here. So at some point I think we can get down to here, but for now we are starting to see a switch in momentum. Right now, yeah, I mean, I have like a Mac Studio thing, which is pretty cool. I mean, I have it because like streaming and like the video editing and working on just anything else, like being able to work on music and stuff. But do you need a whole Mac, a whole like? Not really. Just if you're just gonna trade, like, yeah, you don't really need anything too crazy. All right, so so I think we could get a bounce out of here somewhere. I can see it over here. The thing is just about why and where, right? So here you have Tokyo lows, you have the push down, the market already rebalanced, you get the shakeout out of here, and then it runs. There's really not an entry over here that I really like. And same thing when you're looking at gold. Gold here, the only thing that it has now, it wanted to trade above here, and then it failed to keep these highs. So right now, honestly, what looks best for trading gold is really looking for shorts again. We had the market run during the kind of the finale here, the end of London session. We start to push up to here, or not the end, but as London and New York are starting to overlap, and we definitely push up to here before the market starts to drop down. So I am open to sells with the market here, whether it's silver or gold. I kind of want to see where we get to here in the future. Like here we go. That's not what I wanted to do. So I want to have an alert here ready if we go back up. And then I know I was asked about oil, but before I get into oil, let's go take a look back at indices over here and see where we're at. So where are we with indices? What's what's really the situation here? Okay, let me know how this looks for you guys. I don't know if this is better or not. I kind of widened out the chart. Maybe it doesn't even make a difference for you guys. But so yeah, we saw right Tokyo lows get swept just by a hair here with Dow. So we just break below, while S&P worked its way down and Q just kind of going back up and down and up and down. So I'm really not making any decisive movements quite yet. I'm not necessarily buying NQ. I don't see the reason why. Like there's nothing here that would nothing here is telling me to buy. We are pretty much there's no big sell-off, there's no exchange of money. The biggest thing that I'm looking for right now for sells is with Dow up here. So I got my radar on that for sure. They put the charging cable at the bottom is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen on a mouse. Like what like Apple just be doing that. They're really just like, let's get these guys to need a backup mouse. That's right. That's so funny. So it's ridiculous. Logitech MX Master 3S. That sounds so legit. I'm gonna get that just because it sounds so legit. Didn't I send you some gaming mouse recommendations? Yeah, you did. For sure. I just haven't had time to update anything. I just haven't gotten anything. Okay. So, all right. Let's look at oil. Obviously, guys, oil is going to be, during the times that we're in right now, oil is going to constantly have volatility. We're going to constantly see momentum. So remember how like a couple months ago, everybody was like, oh my God, silver's the greatest thing ever. And everyone started trading silver because it was just like super volatile. It was crazy. And then now things have shifted over to oil. And what you guys are going to see, and I just saw TopStep do this, I'm sure the rest are going to follow. But you're going to see the same thing with oil. So they're going to start dropping contracts for prop firms. They're going to make it they're going to reduce how many contracts you can take, more than likely, because of volatility and to protect you, because it's about you, of course. So, that's probably going to keep happening, especially the more volatile this thing gets. But it is a good idea to have your eyes on this, because you can definitely get into some very nice risk-reward situations here with trading oil. So right now, we got the green light on our idea from yesterday. Remember yesterday we wanted to take this move, right? So let's just look at this real quick, and we're going to see right here, right? So here was that last spike down right at this, the 9 a.m.? Right there, right? We see a nice spike to the downside, and then from here, the market just rips. So we see a nice sweep of liquidity, and this is kind of what we're looking for now, right around here. And this has now been, definitely we saw more than enough structure. So we're now trading above these highs, and just holding it down really well, right? So bullish structure looks fantastic over here. A little sweep, higher highs, zoom out a little bit. We can see how now we've broken out of this consolidation and we've traded above here. We traded above all of Asian session, London session. So the structure is super solid. I'm really, I really like the buy opportunity here for oil. This is definitely one that we'll keep in mind for setups, whether it's today or whether it's maybe it takes a little bit longer, right? So here are today's setups, and we'll kick things off with oil here today. So March 12th, 2026. Oil, so you have this for your notes. All right, so great confirmations for bullish structure on multiple time frames. Okay, so there's that. It's chilling. I'm gonna post this already, and I'll forget. And then, okay, so what about selling anything? Can we sell? Well, I mean, not really. Like, Tokyo highs trade up to here, basically made to equal highs. The market tries to go lower lows on the 5 minute, doesn't really stay down there too much. So I'm not really looking for anything there. We're pretty far away from buy ideas for now. So yeah, I'm going to stay put. So maybe it takes a little bit longer. The other thing that we had here was a sell. I believe I had a sell zone. Yes, right here. So here, actually, let me come back to this real quick. I'm going to set an alert, but we're not that far from sell. So right above 99, I could see a sell, and we'll get back to that, but I know we had an alert with NQ, so I wanted to look at that. Damn it. Okay, so why didn't I click this alert faster? So we just cleared Tokyo lows, trading into this order block here, and this is where we saw that last sell-off before the continuation. Vaughn, did you get into this? Now, to be honest though, I don't really think I would have taken a buy here up here anyways because of the risk to reward. So remember, before you enter a trade, you always want to know, well, okay, one, how much risk am I taking on? So what's my, how much money am I putting at risk? And two, what's the benefit of this trade? Where can I take this to? Do I have, can I get over a 1R on this, 1.5, 2, 3, 5, 10? What is the risk reward? What are the probabilities? And in this example, I think just trading into this imbalance is a 2R. Taking out liquidity is over a 2.3R. So I do think this trade still had enough reward potential right out of here, which this is the combination of the sweep and the order block. So you get the best of both. So this is one of what I would call 3 combinations of entries you can take within the mitigation zone. So you have the order block and the liquidity sweep, and then obviously this is doing its thing. So whatever. Now I guess this is did its thing. It was like about 110 point drop, starting to make that continuation here. So looks like this is okay. If you took this buy, here, I would basically just move your stop to entry. Like, you should be good to go. And just look at how it all came together. S&P got down to this level. I still think we're going to end up working our way eventually lower for today. I don't think we're quite done. So you said it hasn't fully mitigated, so it's still valid. Sure. I mean, it could still go up. I mean, yeah, it could work its way back down. That's totally possible. And then, so you saw, look at the synchronicities. Dow takes out Tokyo lows, and it at the same time then sets up this trade. So you do have some alignment there for sure. Mac for life over here. Oh, here comes the Mac versus everything else battle in the chat. That's always a good one. So if we do go lower, then yeah, you're right. Like, this is totally still valid. So there could be another setup there. I guess just be aware of how price action is moving. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, anyways, we can come back to this. There's not really too much to work on there. And regarding like taking trades right now, I do want to go over a couple things, but I want to walk you guys through metals real quick again. So look at how right now gold had like a little during London, right before London, you had a nice little sweep and then rally. The market just mitigated there and is continuing, and I think we're going to just keep going down. So I wanted to be able to sell gold in here, but it just keeps dropping. You said, what did you say those entry confirmations were for you? Sweep and order block. Was there one more? Yeah, so for example, here you have a sweep of liquidity. The market then leaves an order block within the mitigation zone, the imbalance. So it's a typical mitigation just trade. The difference is just the entry. You could have chosen to take the trade where there's an order block here, or you can choose to take the trade where you've seen a lot of levels of support, which is a little bit lower, which would be taking your trade, down to like over here somewhere. So it's kind of two different options with this idea. However, you do want to realize, like, now suddenly Dow is not dropping that low. It's starting to hold this structure here, so you can see that right there. And then S&P is now trading right back to here. So it break and retest right down to here again. Look at where S&P has support. And then now NQ is sitting over here. So, I mean, NQ's higher time frame structure is definitely better. Like, NQ is barely trading over here. It's barely trading in this area from Monday, end of New York session. Whereas Dow here in the higher time frame is trading out of like New York open on Monday. So slightly higher time frames, NQ is definitely still bullish, but right now the way that the market's dropping, NQ is starting to just go lower and lower. Like, you're starting to see it kind of go a bit more bearish. So I would personally I don't really care too much for this trade. The liquidity sweep that we have from over here is like pretty mediocre. So unless something changes and we start to get a switch in price action again, where like NQ starts to slow down on how it's dropping, and then Dow starts to maybe push a little bit more, that would be the only reason. But like, this drops here before it runs. This is NQ's drop that we're talking about. Right now, you're seeing it go lower and lower and lower, and it just literally gapped. And then meanwhile, Dow is just like super slow on the way down. Super, super slow. So I just don't think that, I don't know, I've had better opportunities. There's been better setups in which it's not as like back and forth with price action. So is it a decent setup? Sure. Is it a great setup for me because of how price action is moving right now? No. It's not the best. So I'm okay with like just not trading it. Yeah, I'll always take the one that's like kind of slow, that starts to move slower. For example, if I want to buy, I want to take the asset that's dropping the slowest. It's like if you want to catch something, if it's dropping from the air, like something's going full speed down, cool. Like if I'm gonna choose between all three, then I'm gonna choose the one that's like barely dropping or just slower into the zone. So sometimes you'll see, for example, this is a little different because they're not all perfectly the same, but sometimes you'll see all three of them going to like basically the same trade, but you'll see one that's already retracing and it's at like an 886, whereas the other one's barely at like a 618. So it's just like going down to the zone slower. And the reason I do that is because the one that's moving the slowest into your area is the one that has the best chance of not breaking the structure. It's got the best chance of actually respecting your stop loss. That's the only reason. And sometimes like we'll see something like this, and then all of a sudden, okay, price action starts to change. And then one will start to just start dropping a lot more aggressively, and the other one will be like, okay, it'll start to kind of stay in the same place. Then you can maybe make a position and make a decision. But for now I'm chilling. Yeah, for now I'm chilling. And you know, we have our eyes on this lower zone as well here for NQ. We got this zone too. Sometimes with these bounce, like we see it happen. You know, this will make the reversal and then later work its way down to here. Okay. So let's see, because it could though. Like for example, right now we're starting to kind of settle in. All of a sudden, we might see Dow start to go really bearish, and then NQ is just chilling. And it starts holding the level much better. So if something like that starts to happen, then I feel better about it. But here's one of the things that always helps me stay more composed with the market. I tell myself, well, okay, if this trade were to work out, like I need to be already accepting that, okay, well, this trade isn't like an A plus setup. It's just not the best setup. If I were to get in this and it loses, what am I going to think about my quality of decision making here? So if you get in and then it loses, are you going to think, man, I kind of knew better than that, or I had a feeling, or whether it's about how much you risk, right? That's one. If you think, well, okay, I can take this and then I'll risk, this amount because I still have proof that this trade does work, just maybe not as often, but it is still doable, then okay, I'm willing to risk this amount. That's another way. Or if you think, okay, well, if this trade wins, am I going to think I just got lucky? So in our example right here, like I mentioned, the difference between this one too, and here's why the markets can get a little tricky, or divergence does, because what we saw here was NQ was still not as bearish on the higher time frame, even though it was still pretty bearish on the lower time frame. So setups like this, like we're starting to reject pretty well. Okay, is it going to keep doing this, or are we just going to come and work our way back down? Here's another cool thing though. So for example, cool, maybe you missed this entry. All right, maybe you missed this entry here. But it's not like you can't still get an idea. So let's say the market comes over here and we start to build sideways. You may end up having a shakeout trade. So maybe you don't get the first zone, but then you get the second zone. So like you still might get a different type of opportunity, even though you didn't get in originally. You actually might get a better risk reward later. The lower zone on MNQ you're looking at is also from a zone you had marked on the 3rd. Can you take a look at that? When someone has a feeling or an intuition about something on the chart or with a trade idea, how do they know if it's worth listening to or if it's scarcity mindset? I mean, what does your system tell you? So okay, let's unpack that question. And yeah, Marty, I can look at that for you. If you have an intuition, where does the intuition come from? Because of something you've experienced? Because is it like an experience that you had multiple times? Because you do have to question your thoughts and where they come from. So I like the awareness. But is it that, oh, I already know? Is it recency bias? So, oh, because it just happened recently, last couple of trades, something happened. So now all of a sudden, like, you're just bringing that sort of energy to your trade. Do you have any proof that, so like, let's say you're like, oh, well, I just have a feeling. So you have to ask yourself, if it's scarcity, then is it because I'm fearful? And is that fear coming from a place of protection, survival, limitations? Like, where does it come from? So that's why, like, having a very mechanical approach, that's just based off of what you've done a whole bunch of research, you've seen hundreds of trades, and okay, if I just do this one thing and do it like this, then I'm going to be making money over time. Then whatever you're like getting a feeling on, should you trust it? And it's what's the foundation of that feeling? Is it experience, or is it fear? Are they making me breakfast? No, I don't eat breakfast. Cafecito. Nancy's out there making some cafecito. I break fast later. Yeah. So you lost most of your past trades that were counter trend and this NQ zone. Okay, so there you go. It's like the past is speaking to you. So how recent? How many trades? So if I were you, and then define, what does counter trend trading mean? What time frame? And I know this all can be very detail oriented, very meticulous, very specific. But when you go, okay, when I'm counter trend trading, my odds of winning are this, based off of whatever, all these numbers. Okay. Then is it worth taking anymore for me? Yes or no? Or it is, but I lose a little bit more often. So you know what? Because of maybe with prop firms or whatever, I'm going to actually approach this with less risk. Because it is still worth winning, but since it's maybe a higher losing rate, okay, I'm okay with making some money on this, just not losing as much as I maybe normally would. So something like that, I think, goes a long way. Check this out. So look at how Dow broke this high and then immediately lost the high, right? It just was not a good, it's not a break of structure. It's not a confirmation of structure. It broke it, but it didn't confirm it. So I would be like, okay, start to be mindful on how the market moves from here. Could NQ give us a shakeout from here? It's possible. But I would want the market to continue to maintain these levels, for the market to show us, yes, we want to kind of keep trading up here, and that dip that we saw under Tokyo lows was just to liquidate. But from here, we want to bounce. So if we get something like this, then we could have a buy opportunity from here. Okay, Marty, you said the lower zone on MNQ. Yeah, so the lower zone, it's not like I don't like this zone that much either, to be honest. This here was just looking at from Monday's New York Open, and we take out the lows, and here's where we get like a shakeout from here. So you kind of get an accumulation out of here, takes the lows, comes back in, drops again, and then runs. So this was the bigger sweep. Here was the last push down within the liquidity sweep before it ran. So that's why I think we could get something here. I'm only really going to buy NQ if NQ starts to be the setup that moves slowest to the downside. If not, then I won't really take anything. So as of right now, look at how we cleared the low, we came back in, and we're moving sideways. All right, so we definitely captured liquidity. We took out Tokyo lows as well. And remember, the reason Tokyo lows or London lows are relevant are because this builds a whole bunch of, so buyers, Asian session buyers are putting their stops typically, predictably, below Tokyo lows. So when these get swept and then the market immediately comes back, then we realize, okay, the intention of the move to the downside was more to liquidate than to establish a lower low, to establish a downtrend. So it seems like it wasn't so much to establish a downtrend. This was more about liquidating those positions. Thank you. So from here, we can start to kind of better understand where the market can go. So look at how quickly the market lost this high, came down, and came right back up. So we might actually have a shift in momentum now. Gold up. Paulo in the caps. There's always somebody, right? There's always someone that's like screaming at me through the chat. It's always, is it gonna go up? Guys, somebody, what's happening? Should I buy? Paulo, stop yelling at me, bro. Or broette, I don't know, I guess. Statistically speaking, you're probably a guy. Honestly, I think this channel has a way higher, like, compared to most, I think there's a lot more women here than, like, ratio wise than most. Why, I don't know, but it's cool to see. So we had silver take out this London low. I wonder why is London right now, this is marking London at 1 a.m. London doesn't open at 1 a.m. Nancy's like, it's because of me, duh. Or are you representing? You're just here? You're just here so you don't get fined? Okay, anyways. So we had silver take this low here from London session, and gold did something similar, trading deeper, way deeper into the imbalance and breaking this as well. So I wonder, oh yeah, I think that's what it is. So I wonder if can we get a little like shakeout action here? Because we take out a little bit of liquidity, we rebalance, and then we quickly come right back up. Is our metals going to want to give us a buy situation here? So we clear the lows, we work our way right back up. We've been moving sideways now here for the last like 9 minutes or so. Could be decent. We had a gold take out the low. Okay. I'm curious. I'm open to silver buys potentially here. I want to see if we can trade here a little bit longer. We'll see. I'll check back in on this in a sec. Let's see. Has oil done anything really? No. We had the higher time frame zone. You know what? Let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick, because Bitcoin can give us some insight on overall like what indices could be doing today. So for example, Bitcoin, and this is one of the reasons I did want to take this last night, but Bitcoin traded down into this zone this mitigation zone, which I had marked up yesterday, or I had talked about yesterday right there. So it came down to here at the same time that Dow and NQ had its zones as well. So now we saw Bitcoin work its way back to another push down here. So look at this little 1 minute action. Nice little push down. Bitcoin gets to here. Now it's starting to rally. Reaccumulation in effect for Bitcoin. And I feel like indices might actually keep running then. Dow making higher highs over here on just 1 minute. 1 minute starting to see a bit more bullish structure. NQ maintaining. I think if we can continue to hold bullish, we could be in a buyer's market for indices. At least to take out London highs, to take out these highs over here. London highs, at least. We could be seeing something there. So, all right, I'm going to have my eyes peeled here. All right, Nasdaq did a much better job liquidating, but it's much slower to work its way higher. So I might end up making a decision on buying Dow. Dow barely breaks below again here and then runs, versus S&P and NQ that are holding up, that like really liquidated over here. All right, let me zoom out a little bit. I want to show you guys a couple things here with majors. So we're starting to see Australian liquidate over here. So I take out some of these lows, trade towards Monday's imbalances or Tuesday's Asian session imbalances. So we're working our way lower. Australian taking its time. NZD already dropping significantly faster, further. Euro keeps, it's just not making deep retracements, and the market just keeps dropping. So yesterday, we had another sweep of the highs before everything dropped again. So Euro just leaving behind tons of selling. Like there's big orders that pump the market up, takes out some highs, and then it's like, all right, cool, we're out, and then just dumps back again. So we're seeing again and again and again more Euro positions, more bearish. So there's plenty of selling zones here. So I'm just gonna, whenever we end up working our way back over there, like, let's do it. So we'll see Euro in the near future here giving us something. On the upsell zones. Okay. So silver working its way down after moving sideways here, clearing this, move sideways for what? 15 minutes or so. Now trading back over here. Is this worth taking a buy? And now look at gold. Okay. Silver starting to go lower. Gold still chopping up. So gold takes this low, London low, kind of breaks above, doesn't really hold. Work its way down, breaks above again, doesn't really hold. I'm gonna stay put, guys. I don't really love I don't think I love these ideas right now. I could see silver buys. I can see it. The liquidity sweep. We build up here. And then now we're back in the zone. There is more of an imbalance to fill. There's kind of more going on over here. Something about gold is throwing me off a little bit. But all right, yeah. I think silver is okay. It's like a decent setup. You got a lot of low support. The liquidity sweep. The market maintains these prices for about 15 minutes. And so can we actually continue to trade over here? I think it's possible. I think it's going to be more of a judgment call on whether you think this is worth taking or not. I'll take a small risk on this idea. But I'm going to take this just on some side accounts, not on all of them. All right, so let's look at NQ here. NQ, similar, right? Interesting. They're both doing the same thing at the same time. Builds up for the last 15, 16 minutes. Now trading into the imbalance. So this is where shakeouts are possible. Honestly, it's not too bad. Like, we're getting right below here, starting to dip lower. So is S&P's almost doing the same thing. And then you have Dow here. So like if you look at how this is working its way down, you have this here, about a 618, 71%. And then you have NQ holding up here pretty well. Look at that. So now NQ is holding up decent. Honestly, guys, I like it. I'm going to take this here. I'm with this. I'm for it, and we'll see where we go. So you guys are going to see me take this position. Right here. Let's run it up. All right. So this is a shakeout setup. The setup here basically is a liquidity capture of Tokyo lows, trading into order block in the past. Once the market takes out those lows, then we come right back up, and the market shows that the demand really was set here for about 15, 16 minutes before the market tucks back into this imbalance. The market coming back into the imbalance was expected. The question really was, is this enough demand to prove that, okay, the market is actually just luring in, it built up retail sellers, and it's putting some retail sellers in profit so that this can then go higher. So that's what we're here to see right now, is that going to be the case? Did this incentivize enough retail sellers? And then is this the right price for price to reverse from here? So guess we're about to see, right? No risk, no Rari. But make sure that your risk makes sense, right? Make sure that it's something that you can duplicate, you can follow. If this trade were to lose, are you able to accept that? That is one of the most important elements to this, is can you accept a loss from here? So if this were to go down and you get taken out, is that going to trigger you? Are you going to go and then, make some other head-ass decision? What's it going to be? Or you're like, yeah, all right, cool, took a loss, that's all gravy, we'll move on. So this is very important that you're able to almost like prepare yourself. I'm prepared to lose. I don't expect to lose, but I'm prepared to lose. And like we like to say, right, the best loser wins. Because at the end of the day, like, everyone can take a good trade once. But can you operate at the same level when, not just when you're winning, but when you're losing? Can you do that? So that's at least my take here. Let's see where we're at with everything else. Dow went lower. So, okay, at least we made the right choice. We allowed Dow to just drop. And then we're starting to get a decent bounce. We're back at entry. So obviously we could have waited, right? I decided to take a position where we had a little bit more support in the past, whereas the price dropped right into the order block here. So, this trade would have been super nice all the way down here. Still, I don't think it's a bad trade or anything, but just, would have been better. Could have been better. Okay. So this is $500 risk in every account, which basically for a lot of them is not a huge risk. It's like, depending on some of them, it's actually pretty minimal. For others, it's like, would be equivalent of, I don't know, like a 0.3% or something per account. Some of them it's a little more if I'm taking 50K is a bit more aggressive. But yeah, I mean, this is not terrible so far. Maintaining from here. I wonder if Dow is going to want to break that or not. All right. Anyone decide to take this? Anyone stay out of this? You're like, like I like Vaughn, right? He said like, I don't know about the counter trend ones. I don't really know if I want to take those. I've been losing with these lately. Like, it's not something that I really want to do. Do you have the data to back that? Are those just your feelings? Is that recency bias? Yeah, just a couple of things that you kind of always want to be considering when you're thinking about the markets. And then the other thing just is like, is this, are you realizing that you're, let's say, maybe a little nervous, right? A little nervous about the trade. And if you are, you got to ask yourself why. Because remember, like, if you're questioning your trade, it can be so many different reasons. Maybe you're risking more than you should, that you're currently can tolerate. That could be part of it. And now you put so much pressure on one trade having to play out. And it's because you either maybe don't understand what risk really means, you've given certain expectations or meaning to losing a certain amount, your perception of what is at stake. So there's a lot of ways that can actually really mess with your trading in general. So just something that at least I wanted to point out here. So we're starting to see some movement, right? We're starting to rebalance a little bit up here. Looks like we chose correctly, which NQ at least has more bullish momentum now. After we saw when it dropped, Dow decided to tank way more. So that's the only reason I ended up making this trade, was because when everything started to work its way down, Dow decided to be way more bearish. So that did put me in position here. The market did now start to rebalance. So one of the things that I'm working out with this specific entry model, which is my shakeout entry model, is the trade management. So I don't have enough data yet to see what's best for how I move my stops. Right now, the way I adjust my stops is based off of the market clearing the closest level of liquidity. But what I am noticing and what I'm building more of a case study on is that sometimes, and actually a lot of times with shakeouts, we'll get a pretty good move. Like, we'll go into profit and it'll fill the imbalance. But then it'll just keep doing whatever it was doing before. So I'm kind of seeing what ends up giving a better opportunity. So obviously letting the market run a little bit further, you're able to kind of move your stops and then not get wicked out before the market runs. But I'm also noticing that a lot of times we do get the entry and then it does push towards, like the imbalance. But if it doesn't have enough steam, then it'll just do what it's kind of doing right now. So for now, basically, if this is the break, here's the retest, and here's where you have right? So for example, here's where retail sellers induced right here. So then the market taking out these highs here, right? This moment would be liquidating, this moment would liquidate retail sellers right there. So that's kind of what, at least how my logic right now is based out of with trades like this, is like, okay, well, once it goes here, then these sellers are out. So then it's like, okay, this has kind of done its job. So that's at least how I have it structured for now. However, I've noticed that we can get shakeout setups. It'll go into profit. We'll fill an imbalance without liquidating them, and then it kind of just keeps. Sometimes it'll just keep going. So like you would have had a chance to go reduce. For example, like if this was the case, if we were following the imbalance stop loss rule, like market fills imbalance and then you adjust your stops, then I would have tightened my stop here and this would have been a reduced loss. So I don't know if we're going to end up winning or if we're going to end up just taking a -1R. I don't really know yet. This will be, I guess, this will be another trade that builds that case study up. But that's how I built all of my systems. Like, think about it this way, guys. For a lot of you, you basically get a good framework, basically my frameworks on how I trade, and you didn't really have to do a lot of the work because it was already done for you. But so that you're able to start incorporating new things, when you start observing, you start observing a lot of different behaviors, a lot of different outcomes, then you build up enough examples, and I'm talking like dozens and dozens and dozens, 50 plus or more, and then you can see like, okay, this either doing this is a way to lose less money, or doing this is a way to make more money, and that's how we're able to kind of stay in the game more effectively. So for a lot of you, you're just plugging and playing and then just doing it because it's already been done for you. But if there's ever things that you're noticing and you want it kind of put into practice, well, then now you have it. So for example, in this case, had I done that, then we would have been, we instead of losing, what was it that we lost here? 48 points. The loss would have been 21. So it would have been like a half R loss, well, actually less, instead of a full R loss. But that's okay, right? And then now if you did take that and you lost, then my big question for you really is like, what's the, how do you like, what are your thoughts on that? Like now that you've taken the loss, kind of take a look back at your processing of that. You good? Was it like, all right, cool, whatever, like -1R, not a big deal whatsoever? Or yeah, and like I don't like that. Like I don't like that I lost. And if the loss feels now bigger than it should, why? Is it because of an objective you want to accomplish? Is it because of like why? Why does it matter so much? And that I think just gives you a lot more answers than, because now you can just start like, what is incentivizing you right now? What is incentivizing your behavior? Gold here, right? London low gets swept here. So we started, right? We saw this thing just start to push down, clears that London low, comes up here, starts chopping up sideways, and then we're just kind of slowly grinding down to here. While silver finally got down to deeper into retracement. So now it's swept again here. Okay, so silver's made these lower lows and swept some liquidity, while gold is kind of maintaining these highs. So I kind of feel like, I don't know, maybe gold actually ends up making a move, But I like, you know what I like? I kind of like this setup right here. Check this out. Is that a nice little sweep? Here, big push down, and from here the market runs. I wonder if we can work our way down here and get a nice little trade in, because this is a pretty big move. I wonder what volume looks like here. Nice little sweep. This was what, 1224 Central. Silver trading not that bearish either. So silver, that same move happens with silver, but like over here. Interesting. Silver rebalancing. Gold here. Slowly working its way down. All right, let's check in on oil. Just pushing higher. Okay, nice. All right, so oil. Oh, right, that's right. I was actually gonna do this. I forgot about that. So I was gonna mark this up. Okay, well, hold on. Now let me go back to gold. So gold is now in the zone. Right here's where we saw that last sweep down. And then we have silver over here as well. Silver still has this imbalance down here. What do you guys think? Gotta get a bounce from gold right here. Silver's a stronger bear right now. And gold is in the zone. Complications, guys. Complications. This is the downside of divergence, and keeping it in mind is like it can start to do this often, and honestly it gets pretty annoying lately, where like, okay, this is obviously a deeper retracement right now. So like here's the structure on gold. This is traded between 786 and 886 right there. Silver, you have the lows from like over here, or really like over here. And then, so this is not pulling back really anywhere near as deeply. But now gold is mitigating this zone. And so even though gold was more bearish on this from this area, when the market came into the zone, gold was not dropping nearly as much as silver was. So gold came into here pretty slowly, while silver was dropping a bit more aggressively. And then, now we're getting the mitigation. So I think trying to explain it, to be fair, and this isn't, I guess, this is not on you guys, but like, I can just operate instead of explaining, which I probably should just do more often and just make my decision and then tell you why I did it later, or like as fast as I can. But anyways, this already has basically rejected and mitigated. We saw the reversal from here to there. So if you took the buy here on gold, then you should be, moving your stops to break even. So full retracement there, and then quick extension. Nice. All right. So, anyways, I wanna give you guys this oil setup before I forget. So here, right, looking at oil from what is this, Monday? Monday, we see a really nice move right here. So the market takes out these highs, and I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see it more clearly. Let's check this out. So here, we're going to circle back right here. Market clears liquidity here. So here's oil doing its thing. Right, we got liquidity right here. Takes out these highs, works its way back down. So nice. And then obviously we don't come back here yet. So selling out of here, I think, makes a lot of sense. And we're getting closer and closer. So clean movement. All right, so yeah, I mean, this one, I just wanted to make sure you guys had this one. I'm going to go ahead and share this. I know I shared the buy idea, but I also want to share the sell as well. So got that here. Now, going back to metals, I just want to show you guys how quickly things move and how you have to be able to protect your money, you know, get in, get out, or just have your rules really set in stone. But look at how gold dropped, what was it, like 89, 90 ticks. It reverses here, just short of that, just short, comes back down further. So now we're deeper retracement. So is it still worth it to you or not? Is gold or silver still valid? Considering that I think silver has still this imbalance over here to trade into, I think we're going to end up just going lower, but you have to make a decision whether you think that's worth it to you or not. So whenever I have these kind of like, I'm not really sure, because of, you know, higher time frame divergence is leaning on silver, lower time frame divergence is on gold's favor. Well, what's happening in real time? So if you're ever indecisive, but you're like, it looks good though, then remember, you can choose the spectrum of risk you want to take. You don't always have to risk, like, if you have, you know what your full risk A+ setup looks like, and you take that. But if there's ever either something missing or something throwing you off, then either have a rule on, okay, if it's like this, it's still profitable, but my win rate isn't as good, so okay, I want to risk less. And it's more so psychological, because if something's profitable, then technically, like, you should just risk what you normally risk. But if you're losing more often, even though it's profitable, you have to understand whether you're able to keep losing and still following your system so that the winner can show up. And if you're not able to do that, then you have to do certain things so that you are able to do that. So whether it's, okay, this works, but I will lose more often, and so in order to, let's say, have my account suffer, or in order to just be able to do things the way I want to do things, and not have it affect me so much, all right, I'm going to just lose less in these scenarios. So in this example, like, I could risk, for example here, I could choose to risk less, not a full R, because I know there's, you know, certain elements to this that are kind of throwing off the trade. So if I wanted to, right, we could do, okay, well, instead of losing 500, I'll lose 250 if that's even an option. In this case, it'd be 200. And cool, I would assess the situation and go, okay, well, does this make sense? Like, is gold still slightly more bullish than silver in these scenarios, or not really, right? And for whatever reason, I can't change this. So right now, I mean, they're moving pretty much the same. Like, I don't feel inclined to take any positions here anymore. Like, I'm just going to wait for this thing to do its thing. And then go even lower. Maybe it wants to trade in this imbalance. Down here a little bit lower. And that might set up silver to go down to here or something. But yeah, anyways, just giving you guys insight on how you can process your risk, how you can process your decisions, and it just gets easier to trade. I would say a muscle like every trader needs to be working on here is your ability to lose, basically. How good of a loser can you be? Because I know, like, learning how to win is way easier. Way easier. Because it feels good. So, like, it's easier to lose. It's easier to win because you get reinforced with good feelings. Losing, though, that's a different game. Because when was the last time you lost and you felt amazing? Where you're like, oh, dude, I'm so stoked. Hell yeah, I love that I just lost some money. I love that I was wrong about my idea. When was the last time you felt like that? Probably never. So, it's something that needs to be built, guys. Like, genuinely, if you feel like your technicals are good, if you feel like when you win, like you can go on good runs and you win really well, then spend some time really focusing on how you can become better at what happens after you lose, how you can prepare for losses better, how you can respond to losses better. And a lot of it has to do with your expectations. What are you wanting out of this market all the time? Why are you wanting the market? Like, why do you need this to pay you right now? Yes, sure. Maybe you haven't been getting you've been getting close, or like maybe it's just people around you, or, what's funny is, like, and I want to tell you guys a story about how no one's really paying attention. And so hopefully this is going to be a relief for you. But there was this study done. Where they gave this woman an objectively just ugly ass sweater. Like, the thing is just ugly. And they had her go to a party. It's like, here's an ugly sweater. Like, it's just a terrible sweater. And you're going to go to this party and just, walk around, mingle, talk to everybody, whatever. She does that. After the party, right, she reports back to the study, and they ask her, like, hey, how do you feel about it? Do you think anyone noticed your ugly sweater? And she's like, yes. It's terrible. Every single person noticed this ugly sweater. Like, everyone knew that I looked awful. Cool. And then they asked the people at the party, they're like, hey, did you notice an ugly sweater? Did you notice someone wearing an ugly sweater today? Not one person was like, oh yeah, that one girl was wearing an ugly sweater. So she thought everyone had eyes on her. Everyone thought, like, oh, what is she doing? Why is she wearing that? Meanwhile, when they actually asked everyone, not a single person was like, noticed it. So what does that mean? Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because we overestimate how much people pay attention to us. In a good way, the good things, and in things that don't serve you. But we highly overestimate these things. Why? Because we're the main characters of our own movie, of our own story. So by nature, it's what we do. You have to. It's your life. But in reality, like, dude, and here's the biggest thing why. Like, everyone is thinking the same thing. Everyone is focused on themselves. You have your own unique challenges, your own unique problems, if you want to look at it that way. So you're just like dealing with your shit. Everyone else is too. So it should be a sense of relief that you go make the mistakes, go bet on yourself, like go be bad at something now, and then you'll be good at something later. No one's thinking about how often, how long. It's like, sure. So I'm not saying like don't care about anybody or don't care about anyone's opinions. I think there are definitely there's a matter of respect and standards that, or for people that truly matter in your life, sure. But that's after you decided what's important to you, not before. And as traders, like, it's really weird. Trading is really interesting because only in trading is there like a pocket watching situation. And I think that has to do with more with maybe the marketing side of things. And on the other side of it, I think it's also because it's just a different lane. You're choosing to take an alternative route. And when you choose to take an alternative route, sometimes that presses people. It's like, you think you're choosing to do this thing, so you must think you're better than us. You're choosing to learn a skill that may take you out of a typical career path, or can at least just help on top of that. But that has nothing to do with you. That just is a representation of someone else. And so it happens like that. Like, but it doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. It's just like you're on your timeline. All right. And so I'll say one more thing, because I think talking about expectations, talking about perception of trading, and understanding how much is like what's in your control and like what really doesn't matter and what's outside of your control. But the reality is this, guys, like you can't give people that don't understand the game power over the timeline of your game. Like, if someone's never traded and someone doesn't actually understand trading, their opinions are absolutely irrelevant to what you do and how you do it and when you do it and why you do it. They don't understand at all. They don't live it. They couldn't possibly get it. And so it's really nice because then you can just let go. It's like, okay, like it's not even worth having any sort of emotion around it. It's like you're just uneducated. That's okay. Like, that's fine. It's funny. Someone was, and I'll compare this kind of to this idea too. But someone posted something about Chicago and how, whatever, it's awesome for whatever reasons. And then in the comments, someone's like, why would I, like, they were just shitting on Chicago, right? It was just like, Chicago is like one of the 10th deadliest cities in the world or something like that. 19,000 people died or got shot or something. Some just, whatever, right? And I thought it was funny because it's just really easy to know when someone has never lived it. Someone has never experienced it. It's like, tell me you're not from here without telling me you're not from here. Like, dude, 99% of this place is fucking awesome. Yeah, there's definitely spots that are like not. And yes, it's sketchy. But like 99% is pretty dope. Same thing with trading. It's like, sure, there's bad players. Sure, there's things that are not perfect. But like 99% of this is like such a amazing development experience. Like, the process of just being a trader is such a development program. Like, it's spiritual and personal development under a medium in which you're tested every single day. And you have to be good at it. You have to like manage yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, your expectations. There's a lot that you're doing. Like, you have to be on point. But someone outside of it's like, it's gambling. It's impossible. And it's like, Yeah, tell me you don't know anything about this without doing that. And so, anyways, if someone just doesn't have experience in your field, why would they have an opinion? Why would their opinion even fucking matter? So, just a little bit of perspective that I wanted to share, because I know it gets really, I don't know, I feel like I get enough DMs about dealing with your families, or I can just see when opinions weigh on your shoulders because all of a sudden, you fall off. Or your attitude toward things change. And you only let it change because you let someone else have power over your thoughts, over your beliefs, over how you feel. And I feel like y'all got to stand up for yourselves a little more, man. Like, even if it's taking you right now 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, do whatever, man. Make this one count then. Stop fucking around. Right? Stop doing dumbass impulsive decisions and go make it count. Right? If you've been doing this for long enough and you're still like super impulsive, then okay, let's work on those things. Yeah, maybe just dig a little deeper within and stop just looking at goddamn charts all the time. Maybe ask yourselves more questions, right? Keep yourself more accountable. Those are the things that like will make the difference. So at the same time, like, make it count then now. If you're like, man, I've been doing this for a while, and sure, it's not fair for anyone to judge you. Absolutely. I would say, like, it is definitely fair to look at this, like getting your master's, getting your PhD, for sure. It can pay you like that and more. So is it okay for it to take that long? Sure, take however long it takes. Right? The goal is to get there, regardless. Even if it's like 4, 8, 10 years of formative years, and then the profitable years come later. You think about it. Doctors go into like multiple 6 figures in debt to then take another 15 years to get out of that debt. And then, I mean, they're living. But it's like, okay, well, they did it because they bet on themselves. You bet on yourself. 8 years to get your degree, PhD. Then you got to go do residency, and then you got to go, and it's all these damn steps, but it's because like you bet on yourself. So do the same thing, but make it count. Make sure you're actually moving forward. All right, that way you're undeniable. Let's see here. Losing sucks, but I have to like positively reinforce myself to follow my plan. For sure, in game and stuff, I am the worst loser. I hate it. I think it reflects in my trading as well. I'm sure it does. But we got to work on it. ETH might be setting up for an SL. Okay. Chirac. Exactly. Chirac. If you don't know shit about what I'm doing, then you don't get a say in it. For sure. If someone has a smaller dream about themselves or for you than yourself, then obviously their opinion doesn't matter either. Once I moved out, started paying my bills, no one has asked about trading. Yeah, because they're all dealing with their own things, man. It's like that. It's like if they're around, then okay, they'll ask. But if not, then no one really. They care about you, and that's the thing too. And I'll end this little, I guess, perspective thing. But a lot of people also are coming from, some are coming from the right place. Like they just want you to win. They don't want you to suffer. And a lot of people, they don't have a high tolerance to failure. So if things aren't going their way for a little bit of time, then if something hasn't been going away the right way for you for a while, they're like, hey, just stop. Like, why keep being in pain? Why keep falling short? Why? So someone else's lack of tolerance for failure doesn't mean yours should be too. You have to be able to endure. It's like, dude, you know how many people sucked at sports for a while until they were good? Like, that's been my biggest downfall with like music. It's the same thing. It's like not wanting to be bad at something. But like, if you got to be bad at something for long enough until you get good, and then you're good at something for long enough until you get great, and you're great at something for long enough until you get elite. But you have to be able to do all of that consistently. Otherwise, it's just never going to happen anyways. So choose what you want to be bad at for a while until like you're not. And then from there, like that's the only way you get good at things. And the reason that 90% of the planet sucks at most things and they don't have skills is because they can't tolerate being like falling short for long enough. That's it. Yeah. That's why I always say like skateboarding was what gave me the biggest advantage in this, because it literally was eat shit over and over and over and over and over again until you don't. And then that translates to a lot of things. And the eating shit literally is like that. Like, trust. People in the cheapest seats always the loudest. 100%. Someone said shake it on NQ. No, I don't like it. I'm good. This wasn't really demand. This didn't really break anything too relevant. And yeah, I'm chilling on this. I want some clear setups. Right now there's really nothing that's like abundantly clear anywhere. So setups that I'm liking are sells on Euro way up here. Oil has a couple different ideas as well. Oh, you guys can't see my screen. But yeah. Anyways, guys, that's it for my rant. I know I felt called to speak on certain stages that I know every trader goes through, some more than others, and especially depending on what kind of people you have around you. Like if you have low performing friends and family, no shame, but it's like that's just the truth. Then like, what do they know about getting skilled at something? And this is, I'm just being honest. Like, it has nothing to do even with income. It's just like, what's your thought process like? How do you look at the world? How do you choose to develop yourself? If you're around people that are always super comfortable and just don't really have big ambitions, then cool, that's the decision. That's fine. Like that's totally fine. But if you have bigger ambitions, then like you can't have their habits and your ambitions and then also make it happen at the same time. It's just not possible. It's not. It is not possible. You can't want to be in the 1% and do the 99% of habits. It doesn't work that way, right? That's why it's called extraordinary. You have to do the extra. You can't do the ordinary. You got to do the extra. Whether it's how you think, whether it's how you behave, whether it's how you respond, all of it. So ask yourself, is that what you're doing every day? And that's why comparison can be useful sometimes, because you go, okay, well, like doing what everyone else is doing around me, everyone else around me maybe doesn't have what I want. I might have to do things a little differently. And there's friction in that too. It's not that you think you're better. It's just like you just want better for you, not better than anybody else. It's just better for you and your family. But anyways, guys, appreciate y'all. Hope you enjoyed the TED Talk. We'll be here live again tomorrow. Remember that we are going to be giving away a funded account tomorrow. So make sure you comment on the newest upload and you guys leave something there. Your chances to win could be pretty good tomorrow. We'll see. So drop a comment there. And then tomorrow will be announced. All right, guys. Take care, y'all. Peace.